Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My hair is standing up. I've been realizing they've been experimenting with a new tech connected to our DNA, which is a hair tech, okay? So it feels like they're stuck in my hair, okay? And I have felt that for a long time. And all day I'm like combing my hair. Like if there's cameras on me, I'm going like this like all freaking day long, getting like, it feels like even like skins coming off of my head, like leather skins, even though it's an invisible technology. That's what it like feels like. And it is the most obnoxious systems ever. So I have, the Seven of Cups is coming up right away with a lot of deception coming through. I have the snake and I'm hearing cover up. So as soon as the information goes out, we have cover up teams that are paid off and ready to go. We also have chaos agents that we're dealing with. And I think it's important that the United States and globally that we understand the level of the cover up operations, because they're a whole other ball game. Okay. Now they have already had me say a lot of things programmed, referencing baseball. So it's directly tied into baseball somehow, and possibly even Manhattan. So they're already conjuring up their next terrorist plots, okay? And how they operate is through these systems. They're using these sophisticated technologies. They got the Zuckerberg systems. They got the Bill Gates systems. They pay high dollar for these technologies. These are foreign dictators, foreign dignitaries, people who are out to destroy our country, to make a mockery of our country. And those are the people that Trump went into business with. Now, many of his business dealings never actually went under investigation because he was protected by Rod Rosenstein. And I want to know why. I don't know if it's the Jewish community. I don't know what the hell it is, but I have somebody crooked coming in around them right now, and it's a Capricorn energy. So I don't know if it is through Kushner. I don't know if it's part of the freaking 2 billion. I don't know, but for some reason, he was protecting them, and from what I have seen was acting as command throughout the entire Trump administration and the Biden administration. Now, I have the White House coming in around that, and I also have children coming through around that. Specifically, there's a little girl that keeps coming up around the White House. So I don't know what this is referencing in terms of like the White House coming up. Let me see more about that. It's something like with a redhead that is coming in. But I'm not really understanding what this is and how this would go back. There is like possibly a death that is connected to this. A murder crime. I don't understand how this connects back to Rod Rosenstein though, but that's where they're like taking me, is like to the White House right now. And then it connects back to Manhattan. So I don't know if it's the child trafficking operations. I was getting that when I was reading on Comey. But it's something along the lines of there's something underground that is going on within the White House. So let's go to Havana Syndrome. So Havana Syndrome is connected to Cuba, okay? And it's connected to Florida. I had seen specifically our own military involved in Havana Syndrome. I was shown the military base through the metaverse, through Dream State, however that came to me, through however, if that was our intelligence, I have no idea. And I was walking alongside, I was at this base. I am realizing that I was shown a lot of stuff, all right, a lot of high level intelligence. And I think with intelligence or with this kind of work, you just kind of find yourself, I don't know, in it somehow. And that's how it happened. So a lot of people don't know this information because they're not following global headlines or global news, but Joe Biden essentially declared war on Vladimir Putin. I believe that he was aware of the infiltration into our central intelligence, into the military portals, and shortly thereafter, Putin announced that his Russian warships would be stationed in Cuba. That to me was dead obvious that Vladimir Putin, Cuba, Havana Syndrome was directly connected to our military, okay? and that we were under attack. Now, I don't think our Pentagon picked up on any of that because I think they were either all in on it or there were cover-ups that were going on. Secretary Austin was in place at that point in time. That was the general that I believe was overseeing everything. And I don't know if he was compromised or not. I have the 9 of Wands coming in around him right now. So he could have been in a situation where he felt trapped or infiltrated in some way, and there's something with the cloud technology coming in. Now, I had seen Thomas Bergeson through all of my attacks and interactions with him. He is out of Florida. He was operating command under the fake presidency, the first administration of Donald Trump, and he was handling the threats of North Korea, which now we know, with Donald Trump shaking hands with Crazy Kimmy, that they were actually forming a coalition together, okay? And part of that coalition, I believe, was part of probably oil agendas, weapons agendas, probably more war agendas, and part of that one world order of crypto, okay? And moving money. Now, cryptocurrency, I have linked back directly to the DNA ties. I believe it is part of the DNA buyout, and it is part of the human hacking. Now, many of you guys, if you're new here, you might not know, but I had a client who was some type of intelligence. I don't know what he was. I'm hearing just now that somebody's saying he was a death dealer. He was connected into this crew of psycho, okay? And I got dark vibes from him. When we interacted one-on-one, it was through my website, which I was offering readings, okay, obviously, and I specialized in political readings, and I was, doing a lot of the, obviously, psychic work, so to speak. Anyways, he did not show his face on camera, and he also used a voice altercation, okay, so it wasn't like his real voice, and I could pick up on that. I knew he was using some type of advanced voice altercation. He said that his boss was in the Pentagon. He also mentioned having connections to the Secret Service, the White House, specifically the White House Oval, okay? And I know that there was something obviously like off with him. I was the person who always, saw the best in everybody and thought, hey, this guy probably works in intelligence and just needs to get this stuff off of his chest. This is just I was looking at my soul coaching sessions, they're almost like high level, if you're meeting with a freaking therapist or a psychologist, you know what I mean? And you just need to talk things out, in some way. And he had a lot of information every time we met, and it was almost like weekly, and I could almost know exactly when he was going to book and when we were going to meet. We usually met around early in the week, okay? And then I believe he would do his trips or his flights on the weekends. So he claimed to be Air Force, okay? That's what he told me. And he also claimed to have his own private jet company. And the private jet company that he worked for carted organs globally. And, a lot of it feels very heavy, okay? He also had a lot of awareness of Air Force bases, okay? He knew a lot about our Air Force bases. So I believed that he was Air Force because he just had too much knowledge about these bases and visiting these bases. He would go into a lot of stories about, the love of his life and meeting, he had a lot of personal stories, and then he would go into his travels and what he was doing on the weekends, which were a lot of, scenarios that were linked to people like Eric Prince. He was name dropping people in power, okay, when he was talking about these trips. So every trip was a different topic, subject, etc. We had an exchange, okay? It was shortly after Donald Trump supposedly had COVID-19, okay? And he was put into a hospital that I guess all of the presidents go to if something happens. And it was kind of like this emergency situation. They had him going through the crowds, like waving out the window. I don't know if you guys remember any of that. And it was around that time period that there was an exchange of emails between me and this client, okay? And it might have been one of the last emails that I actually had with him before I cut ties with the client. But he specifically mentioned something around New Orleans, Louisiana, and this voodoo priestess, Papa Lebda, something like that. Papa Lebda. The email felt very like dark and cryptic, okay? And it felt like it was coming in with some form of spell work. Right now, whoever is in my headset is like, they're like coming in and just like trying to be like kibosh, like cut the kibosh on this right now. And I don't know if they're good people or bad people. I don't know if it's them that I'm outing right now and they don't want this information out. But I feel like a lot of the reason why I am feeling intuitively like I have to get this information out right now is because there are not a lot of people in this level of military rank, okay? However I earned it through Delta Force, CIA, however I earned my rank, that have this information that are not part of the oil guys or what I have heard or they have been referred to as the good old boys, okay? And I think it's like there's only a few people that have the information and actually know for a fact who is really running the country and who the deep state is. And I feel like because I have access to this information, because I risked my life for my country so many times through these technology systems, which is how we are fighting now, okay? A lot of the stuff on the ground is a level of distraction, okay? Most of, I would say, our operations globally are happening through these military gaming technologies, okay? And this stuff is very advanced. These are advanced neural patents, military patents. Like you can get locations on people within seconds. This stuff is very advanced, okay? And I think that because I was put in the position that I was, let me rephrase that. I think because I found myself in the position that I have been in, it is a feeling of against all odds because one, I'm a female. Two, these people have owned this space for so long. Three, I am essentially outing huge crimes against our country. Conspiracy to defraud the United States of America. Misuse and misallocation of military funds being used for foreign dignitaries. I mean, it's huge crimes, guys, huge crimes. It is biological warfare crimes against U.S. citizens, against people in positions of power. And the minute somebody starts to rise within our country, they bring in their teams of incels, which are essentially contract killers, okay? And that is also through the same technology and gaming system linked to the Tate brothers. And this group, I know inside and out because I've been around them for so freaking long now. You have to understand my days are long. They got me up at 5:30 a.m. this morning attacking me with a weapon system. Today I had upwards of 92 systems on my head. My MRI scans look like a freaking Christmas tree. They look like literally the lights on a Christmas tree. They are these perfect little circles that are bright white everywhere. I couldn't believe how many implants were on the MRI scans that my neurologist went over with me in person. And when I asked him to go back to, I saw something white, he was like, oh, there's nothing there, and quickly scanned over it. He looked very nervous that day. And when I left, they already told me, the government already covered it up, Amy. Like, you're never going to get the truth. The cover-up crimes are huge, and they're just as big as the military operations, which I told you all in the other video have to do with oil, and it's land grabs to get the oil. And the oil plays into the wars. That war is good for the country. The war is good for the economy. So these are the lies that have been embedded into our soldiers over and over again to make them believe that this is important. And I keep seeing the movie Jarhead over and over again. I keep replaying it over. If you guys have not watched that movie, they basically say that the entire, I want to say it was the Gulf War, was a complete waste of time. And I think we now can understand that many of these terrorist groups were probably created by our own military and funded by the oil guys. And the minute somebody tries to take their piece of the pie, they freaking go after them with contract killers. Now, I can also say a big part of the oil lies is that we need oil to survive and fuel our cars. But at the same interim, they just pumped out the biggest gas guzzling, obnoxious trucks for all the megas to be showcasing with their little flags, okay? Their little fake patriot flags. And if oil was really such a problem, and we really were in an oil crisis, so to speak, why wouldn't we be looking towards more fuel efficient cars? And why would we not always have been working from home and been smarter about our fuel efficiency? And the other lie is, why wouldn't we have a sustainable oil? Because then they just switched over to freaking electric cars, which are just as bad for the environment. They are freaking exploding Earth. They are burning down forests right now in our own country for the lithium. Okay. They are destroying Mother Gaia, Mother Nature, which are part of our own personal and energetic protections. These guys are sick. They are evil. And all they care about is the freaking money. And it's all a lie. We don't need their oil. And if we could wake up to the fact that we don't need their oil, okay, because I believe through this system and through other interactions I had, we were working on sustainable corn oil agendas. And I don't know what happened with that, but obviously something happened for everything to go awry. I have Manhattan coming in and I'm hearing crime bosses. So that's freaking Donald Trump's rat pack. They moved monies that I know were allocated for corn oil and that entire industry. They moved it through the New Jersey casino, okay, one of the casinos, okay, to get it over to Donald Trump in Manhattan. They don't want you guys to know that. And back to my friggin' email, okay, about this cryptic Papa Lebda or whatever he was, okay, this voodoo priestess out of New Orleans. I was basically clearing the energies on this email. I was clearing it. And this is something I did a lot with my channel, with the news. I was able to figure out how to clear energies really quickly through prayer to understand what his actual cryptic email meant. And when I unveiled the meaning of the email, I got the human hacking. Okay, that they were going to hack humans, and that was their next agenda. And I remember writing it back to him. I actually wrote back in the email, they're going to hack humans. And this is right at the time of COVID-19. And it's exactly at the same time as cryptocurrency. So you have to understand that they were part of the same dark operations, which was a kill operation against U.S. citizens, okay, globally. And it was being moved toward a genocide operation, which I talked a little bit about that in the other video I just posted. And so when they're coming up with a kill currency, a currency that is actually based off of people's destinies, their lives, okay? You have to understand the level of darkness that Donald Trump is in bed with. These are murderers. These are the same people that I just said hacksawed the reporter Khashoggi. And it was a full-blown chainsaw operation. They showed what they used to kill him and how they killed him. These people are sick. They are next level crazy. And to sit in Congress and act like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and all of these people are just like us is very naive. Because they are part of the same murderous train. They overthrew our country and they don't deserve respect from any American right now. Part of Havana syndrome when it first came out, because there were several attacks. And I was part of an attack in 2021, which I'm not sure who was a part of that attack, okay? Because I did see Vladimir Putin using a black box weapon on me. It came in as a loud noise. I thought I was going to freaking go deaf, okay? It was a very loud noise, very much similar to how they described the other Havana syndrome attacks. And I could see through my third eye, I could see it was Putin doing it to me. And that was the year that I went under attack physically. And I saw in the dream state through the metaverse, however, I saw Oleg Deripaska, a Russian oligarch, shaking hands with a high-level FBI official, saying that she would be gone by September of 2021, looking at my house, the house that I actually grew up at, because they didn't have the correct address. And then I was followed by Russian spies for the next month, okay, to get a location on me. They obviously knew enough of where my whereabouts were because they got the neighborhood that I was going to be in. And the next day after that dream, my phone went out for 12 hours. My brother called me panicking. He was worried that there was something wrong. He asked if I was okay. I told him I felt like I was in danger. And within 5 minutes, he laughed it off and was acting like I made it up, which is typically what happens when you're going through MK Ultra programs, okay? Because all of your soul contracts are under attack through the Monarch Mind Control patents, okay? All right? They all go under attack. I was sent not one shower head, but 2 shower heads from a gas company, PSENG. The first shower head was sent to me within weeks after my move, okay? And it was months. I don't even remember. And then I didn't install that shower head. And then it was about 3 months later and they sent me another shower head. So the Nazis were already coming in. I'm going to call them Rotsies because I feel like they were Russian Nazis, okay? So our country right now just has to realize that the people who are being shown as leaders or in power, they are essentially attacking our country. And our country is under attack right now. I am telling you, and it's been under attack. It's whether or not we can wake up to the truth of it or believe their lies. And there's a reason that my channel only gets X amount of views. And there's a reason that I've been capped out financially, monetarily. And the minute I have extra money in my pocket, it ends up going to something like a bill. So I have a movie coming through around this, and I don't know what that is talking about. Maybe I should clarify that a little bit more. Calling in messages around this whole situation, calling in messages. I have babies coming in around this. All right, the messages I have right now coming in is share. So it's really important right now to share what you know. And I felt a responsibility to get these messages out to my channel because I realized that they were not going to get out to anybody in any type of power, okay? Because the people in power are not aligned to who I am and any type of agendas for humanity or the world, okay? And so we just have to shine a light on the truth of who they are. When I quote unquote won the war, okay, through the metaverse that was going on, okay, against Russia, I had the generals come in and deal with me. And I went through intense interrogations, which were done through a weapon system, which is when they go through your memory, okay, through a technology that's very painful, and they figure out what you know. And then once they find out what you know, and depending on how damaging it is, they essentially erase it from all reality. So it's as if they delete the entire Akashic record out, so it doesn't exist, so people can't find the information anymore. And then they essentially moved me into another form of warfare to try and get me out because I became a threat to them and their empire, their fake empire. Look, I have move coming in. And so they buried a lot of the information that I knew. Now, on the first video of my part 1 MK Ultra Trafficking Delta Force Secret Soace Program video playlist, okay, I explain that essentially someone came into my ear and they said, "We think you know too much, Amy, and now you have to die." And that's when I went into all of the attacks, okay? And I was surrounded by what feels like a combination of Russian military and US military. That was probably at the point that our military portals were fully infiltrated. The Pentagon was in a full-blown cover-up around Havana syndrome. So everything became essentially a cover-up the more that you knew and realized it wasn't a syndrome, that it was a full-blown attack on our own country. I have the White House coming in around this, and I have music coming in. So I know that it's directly tied to the music industry. Oleg Deripaska had a recording studio in Burbank that just recently, I believe, was infiltrated and seized by the feds, okay? I also did see in Manhattan that there was something going on with the School of Rock linked to LA, and I saw Vladimir Putin directly tied to the School of Rock. I also saw a lot of black children around him with musical instruments, and that was like a complete red flag, just knowing who these people are. So at that time, I was sending them lots of love and protection energies. I was trying to get him away from them. This is a lot of the work that I have to do. I can't even explain to you within like a half hour how much stuff is going on through this system and technology. It would blow your freaking mind, okay? I saw operations going on at Mar-a-Lago the other day with Betsy DeVos, with freaking Kellyanne Conway. I saw the Houthis, okay, terrorist group getting called in with Eric Prince, okay? I can't even tell you the amount of dark operations that they are working on around the clock, and the monies and how fast the contracts are coming in from Israel, from I'm hearing the Sudan, coming in from all parts of Africa. They're coming in from Saudi Arabia, United Emirates. And we have to be aware of how the monies are coming in, because everybody has been raving about this pistachio Dubai chocolate bar, okay? And you have to understand that that could be funding a dark operation. I was also getting that certain gas stations, okay, that we go to are funding dark operations. One of the ones I was getting was a dinosaur. And when I looked up the dinosaur, it was Sinclair. So we have to just be aware of the terrorist operations through the oil and what we're funding. And for me, I really wanted to move to sustainability and going towards corn oil, which is very affordable, easy to maneuver. They were doing this. Okay. They were converting certain engines linked to, I want to say it was either BMWs or Mercedes-Benz, that you could easily convert the engines over to corn oil, and people were buying them up and converting them. And a lot of the fast food chains were allowed to give them their leftover fry oil, and the cars smelled like French fries, and they smelled really amazing. And this was something that was going on, and people were doing it successfully. And then the restaurants passed a law that they couldn't do that because they were wasting the fry oil, which is complete lies, okay? You have to change out your fry oil every 24 hours or something like that. So instead of giving it to somebody who could use it for their car, it's like they have to pass a law where they're not allowed to do that. And that's stuff that we have to pay attention to. Who's funding that? Who's backing it? Who's the monies behind it, okay? We also have to pay attention, obviously, to the land grabs going on in California with BlackRock. I'm hearing it's null, okay? We have to say it's null. Whoever created those fires has to pay back all of the freaking monies back to the freaking people who lost their homes, okay? Out of their pocket, and they have the right to rebuild their homes. We don't just take and thief from people, okay? But these people think that they can freaking bulldoze over us right now. And that is going to change. That is going to freaking change. Okay, so I keep having share coming in again. I was getting a lot of messages about communal living, creating more communal living. There are people around the world that live in communal living that are the happiest places to live on earth. But that information isn't shared on Fox News. That information isn't shared on any of these social media platforms, right-wing media, because it is designed to embolden them to become me oriented, or to believe there's not enough, to believe in a scarcity, to believe they all are going through their own psyops. They all are under their own form of mind control programs. And it's important for us to break through that. There are countries that are older than the United States of America, and they do it better than us. And we can learn from them. We don't have to stay in this divide and conquer mentality. The right, left agendas are designed to separate us. At the end of the day, if we can break through the illusions of what those agendas stand for, we are really all on the same page. But that works against the big C's, okay? It works against their agendas. I could break down and dissolve every single talking point that the right wing has been paid to freaking roll out and embed and implant into their brains, okay? Because I understand it on a whole other level, because I've been in these portals. I understand now the operations that go behind these fake talking points, okay? And it's the people like Joe Rogan that I have beef with. I have issues with them because they're deadly to our country. They are a weapon altogether. They are shelling out conspiracy theories that are actually paid and bought. They are filming warehouses that they are freaking basically staging for his shows, okay? And that's the shit they don't want you to freaking know, okay? It is all false narratives, false news, and then they're saying that the real news was fake news. And all of that is getting debunked right now. On that note, thanks so much again for your support and love. I share this information not to prove I'm anybody. I'm sharing it because it's something we have to freaking know. I am sharing it so it's getting out to hopefully the right people, okay? And I hope that my audience has enough integrity to give me credit where credit is due and not to steal this information and act like, you have freaking given it yourself, okay? I hope that there's credibility given back to me, because I know that there's a lot of people that have come into this headset just to take information from me and use it as a weapon or use it for their own social media platforms without giving me credit. And that's all financial crimes. So, I will leave you guys there. I'm wishing you the best. Stay strong, okay? We have to rise above this evil, and we have to bring in justice right now, okay? I am wishing you the best, sending you lots of love, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.